Hello. So you're the cast and director and writer of the film, Eyes Wide Open. So we'll just start with the question straight away. Daniel, what were your major influences on the film?
Gaspar Noé. He's a French filmmaker. He's working now, and he's my big inspiration. He's one of my favorite modern filmmakers, and this movie is really similar to his film called Irreversible, which is very, very good. I'm not sure if you realize, but this film happens backwards, and Irreversible is also backwards, and that was a big influence on me. And he's a great filmmaker. His films are very, very visceral, very eye-opening, hence the title, sort of. And yeah, you should check him out. But he's very intense, but he's very, very good. Yeah.
What was the process of making the film, as in like writing it, shooting it? Feel free to answer.
The script, it came like, the script was quite simple to write, but then after, since the film happened backwards, I realized that it didn't make a lot of sense, so I had to change it, and I had some help from a few friends and like script supervisors as well, and we all changed the script so it makes more sense, and I hope it makes some sense to you guys, I'm not sure. And then, yeah, we shot it over like 4 or 5 days, and it was a lot of fun, I hope.
Yeah, it was fun.
The explosion was a lot of fun to do. We used a condom with ketchup and meat, and then we exploded it.
Yeah, in the opening bit, he had to hide behind me.
Yeah, exactly.
With a balloon,
Exactly.
and I was feeling like all rigid and still, so
Explode.
poppets, and my brain exploded.
And then the editing was quite simple. I mean, yeah. So it was a good process.
Relatively easy.
Yeah.
Did you have any major difficulties while shooting it?
Location.
Yeah, location was one, but fortunately we got to use Charlie's house, so thank you, Charlie.
And thanks to my housemates.
Yeah, thank you, housemates. Yeah, and no, I think, it was fine. Yeah. It was quite clear. Yeah.
Have you guys learned anything from this production? Like anything that you weren't expecting? Anything that you had to overcome while filming it? Again, aside from difficulties.
Yeah, I have had quite a few experience in doing films. I have been doing more theater, which is live, and in which you have to do everything in a row. You can't cut and redo one scene, for example. And in theater, in contrast with film, you need to be very expressive. And in film, every detail is intensified in the camera. So it teaches me a lot on how to act and how to work in a film in contrast with drama.
Yeah, I was similar. Usually doing theatre projects and things like that. It was the weirdest thing for me was not getting the audience reaction. So if you've done like a good piece of acting, because you might get an applause, or if it's a comedy, you'll get a laugh. But because after you've done a take, there's just silence, or Daniel going, yeah, that's a good take, sort of thing. It's just completely different because you don't get the sort of adrenaline rush that you get when you're on stage as well. So yeah, that was a weird one for me. It made me think, was that good? Was that bad?
You talked about getting feedback from Daniel. What was it like working with him as a director?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was a good director. He knew what he wanted, but he had there was room for us to pitch in with our own ideas. If we did a good take that he wasn't expecting, he'd keep it.
Yeah.
So we got to bring our own ideas in as well.
He has a very clear idea of what he wants to see visually, and then he let us also put more of what we think we could use in each scene. So I think it's they're a great director.
How did you two get into character? Obviously it's quite a short film, but you still delivered great performances. How did you get into character?
I read over the script a lot, and I also listened to the song. The song really helped. even before my audition, when I read part of the script, I was listening to the song in my girlfriend's room, like in front of the mirror, like thinking
Because
how it would be.
the original idea was that the song, it was going to play like 4 or 5 times in the entire film, like as a main character, sort of. But we realized that just having it at the end was the best choice, and so I think it looks really good with it at the end. So that's what we chose.
There was also like empathy, like putting myself in the character's shoes, thinking what would happen if I was in a dead end job, and I didn't, like always thinking why am I alive, and going through what the character was going through, like, sort of getting into the mindset helps as well.
Yeah, there are different techniques, I think. But like every time I participate in a performance or in a film, I try to feel how the character would feel. And also Daniel gave me some instructions on how my character should be. So he told me you need to be a very ugly woman and try to be sexy,
act ugly,
and try to be sexy but not sexy. So what I did was just like making the scene on my own, watching myself in a mirror, and then I practiced quite a few times, and then I practiced with him, and he told me whether he liked it or whether I should change something else.
Yeah, Daniel's feedback helped as well.
Yeah.
And as an actor, you mentioned that your character was in a dead-end job. That's not necessarily recognisable straight away from the film. It's more suggested. Did you have a deep understanding of what was going on in the story, or did Daniel just let you figure it out for yourself? So did he explain anything to you?
He explained like sort of the base principles of it. Let us read over the script a lot more before he went into more depth. It was like if my character seemed to be doing something different to what Daniel imagined, he'd tell me when we were shooting, not beforehand. So it allowed me to sort of figure it out for myself at first, and then mix in with Daniel's ideas more during the shooting process itself, I'd say.
All right. Any audience questions?
Sorry, can I ask you about the picture? Like, which effect did you use? It was like a kind of like film
It was like an old film effect, because the idea is that this film is supposed to be from the 70s.
Okay.
It's supposed to be really cheap, so the film that it was shot on is supposed to be very dirty and very old. So that was the effect.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Thank you.
What camera did you shoot?
This one right here.
That's
It's
a
the Sony Nex UG30E.
Okay.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.